human.
And boom!
Common man, no show prep, no solid plan. Spins a yarn, begins a tale. The esoteric approach won't fail. Tune in, it's time for Common Man. Common man, charms the housewives like no one can. What'd you shoot? Where'd we play? Non-stop nonsense on deck today. Tune in, it's time for Common Man.
Oh, boy.
Why should anybody aspire to be a common man, an average man? Do you realize what it means to be average? That means you're the best of the lousiest, and the lousiest of the best. Now, if we demand more and more for producing less and less, while the have-not nations encourage and inspire and indeed require hard work and maximum effort, if we deify the common men while they encourage and reward the uncommon ones, well, the end result of such a lopsided race as that is too obvious to require elaboration.
I mean, it's like, hello?
Out of hundreds of deals that I've done, hundreds.
NFL's nothing but a racket. The Lions are a terrible team and a terrible city. Four terrible fans and a terrible stadium. A terrible uniform. A terrible cheerleader. He's a rube.
Border battle!
Yeah, I always love that one.
You're breaking up, Bob.
You're breaking up.
Yeah, I always love that one.
Polad Pocket Protector Power Rankings.
Boy, how disappointing is that?
We're the state of hockey, and I think that proves it, so.
Yes!
I've seen enough out of Cousins, Paul. Put him on ice.
I'm going to say something controversial.
That's interesting.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're seeing what a sophisticated offensive game plan looks like. You talk about...
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, I think Tennessee, that said, fool me once, shame on you. If fool me, can't get fooled again.
Timberwolves superfan, KFAN Stan Barrero.
How do you like me now?
Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Yes, I do!
He's the clown from Brown. He's the fourth in the north. This is the common man, Dan Cole.
Run begins at, hello, there we go. Run begins at 6, 7. 5 actually, 3-bit 5, sounds more than 4, 2, 1. Greetings, good afternoon, and actually yours. First of all, off-air business, closed circuit, the chat Abbott. If you could come down to the studio during my first break.
No!
Yeah, I hip cricket after working so well. I can check my emails. It's not working now today because it says I don't, it's the incorrect password, but it's the password we set up. So I don't understand why I don't have a correct password, but that's another, that's a whole nother, oh no, I know what happened. It's my password for my password, and my password, I just changed it because we had until tomorrow. Did you get that email? You have to change your password to get into email by what's the date tomorrow, the 17th? Until the 17th. And I changed it today successfully on my own.
Huh?
That's the second time I've been able to change my email passcode all by my lonesome. I'm so proud of myself. I feel like, you know the song Watching Scotty Grow? Did like Mickey Mouse. Oh, that's a shock. That's my boy. I felt just like watching Scotty
Then you should
grow.
be all good for hip cricket then.
Well, I put the wrong code in. I'll fix that. So anyway, I'm on to you.
Cap?
You didn't fool me. Well, you did at first. You know, I get the text, not coming in. By the way, when does your contract expire?
It's a couple of years.
Oh, does it have that much? I was hoping we'd say a couple months because I think you were trying to show your value to the program. So on the day after waiting all day for Sunday night, J.J. McCarthy puts together his best game as a pro. Certainly this one and the one against Washington, very, very good, right? So we win. Looking forward to a montage. And then the Skatriots. They're not the Wild anymore. We're back to being the Skatriots. Make a blockbuster trade that's still reverberating across the National Hockey League. As a matter of fact, it's cracked ice over at Grand Casino Arena. The ice cracked. It was reverberating so hard. So myself, the audience, we're all looking forward to I was thinking maybe even a double montage. You do those double montages where you'll do the Vikings and all of a sudden the scratching of the record. Then we'll break into another one. I thought we'd have one for the Wild, and the Wolves won, and both Gopher teams.
Yeah, my plan was to do a lovely day montage with all three teams. Since it was the first time since 2003 they've all won on a Sunday together.
And then you don't show up. We'll show We'll see how he does. And I'll admit, it was a struggle. I found
Really?
Sam Bird's fine. Sam's only done the show twice. This was his second time. He gets the bit, but he doesn't know all the nuances. And I didn't ask him to. He sent me a text. Is there any audio or other needs you have? I said, nah, let's wing it. Then he texted back, why did I know that's what you were going to say? And then the laughing emoji, with the tears coming out of the smiley face guy's eyes. And I said, it's freeform radio. The danger of freeform radio, it often leads to a free fall. And we were falling fast. We were Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers yesterday. We were free falling. We were in a tail. We were Gary Lewis and the Jayhawks. We were in a tailspin.
Yeah.
We got out of it. We survived. It's sort of like when a plane's going to land on a runway, full flaps. It runs out of room. It skids off the end of the runway, but, everything's fine. That's what it was like, because I did miss the montage. There was no montage to be played. Sam didn't know about just bashing the soundboard, right? The button bar, just hammering it over and over again. So I had to add that. We did do a 5-3-4. He wasn't aware of the bumping me in and out of breaks, which I can't do radio anymore without hearing that music. I told him, I said, if I don't hear the music playing, I'll just keep talking, even when I'm aware that I'm supposed to stop. Do you know what I'm saying by that? I'm so used to hearing music as I go to break. I can't just go back with more here at the fan. I can't go out cold like that. And I told Sam, I had to remind him like the first 7-8 times. But he finally caught on.
6-7 times?
6-7 times, but he caught on to it the last time. He did a great job. I'm not ripping him.
Oh.
But I missed you.
So it's time for me to go in for a contract negotiation?
I would go in a contract negotiation. I would say that you deserve more. You give Tenna the raise he so richly deserves. One text message right away said, the only reason I tuned in was to hear what Tenna had to say about the trade, the Wild trade. Sure. I'm out. And then he said, I'm out.
Wow.
So that was it. He wanted to hear what you had to say. He couldn't care less what I had to say. Well, I couldn't even remember the guy's name, to be honest. So Sam didn't know his name. I couldn't remember his name. How do you think that sounded on your audio home for the Minnesota Wild?
I always love that one.
Yeah,
doesn't surprise me.
We traded for the best defenseman in hockey. His name was Hugh Quinn. I think I called him Hugh Quinn.
Who?
I just reversed his name. It's no big deal. It's Quinn Edward. No, Quinn Hughes. And he made an impact right away. So it's good to have you. It's welcome back to the spotlight.
It's good to be back.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you had a sick child.
Still is sick.
Yeah, of course. You were just trying to show, and you proved your point. We can't operate without you. We get that now. So you can stop with the ruse. Remember we used that word last week? You can stop with the ruse that, you have a child sick. I'm not buying it. But anyway. I
was actually over in St. Paul to interview for that video coordinator job. That's really what I was doing.
Well, now there'll be plenty of a coordinating to do and plenty of video. The Wild make a blockbuster. Billy Guerin trades.
Yeah.
Ogren. Don't stop. I'll do the names. I'll figure them out. I think I remember them. Ogren, Buyam, and Foligno. No, not Foligno. Rossi, and an unprotected number one, I think, next year. So the equivalent of, because all those players were first-round draft picks, the equivalent of 4 first-rounders for arguably, he won the Norris last year, is that correct, as the defenseman of the year? and he's considered one of the best defensemen, if not the best, in the National Hockey League. He's now on our club. It's a 4-for-1. I said it was Herschel Walker-like, though I don't think Quinn Hughes is going to be Herschel Walker-like. Does that make sense? It's a blockbuster. It's 4 pieces for 1 piece. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, tend to be. I think the organization and I think Wild Nation's very excited. Your thoughts on the trade?
Well, it's an immediate upgrade, a massive upgrade on the blue line, and I think anyone who follows hockey, this is not breaking news today. He's really, really good. At least offensively, he's basically a fourth forward. It's like having another Kaprizov on the ice, and I'm looking forward to having Kaprizov have another player to play with. I can't wait till Zuccarello's healthy, because he can dish the puck and get over to Quinn Hughes. But he is as dynamic offensively as any defenseman in the NHL. He can skate not only forward, but backward and laterally, and he can walk the blue line and escape from pressure.
Is his skating skills on par with yours?
Slightly better. A
little better? Okay.
Slightly better than mine.
All right.
He will jump up in the play at all times. So, I mean, just, you kind of think of, hey, we need to add offense, and you think of it as a forward as we're going to be, and maybe they still will add at some point before the trade deadline. But when you have a defenseman who's going to be out there for 20, 25 minutes a game, he is going to make every other forward out there better. So yeah, it's short term. It's very exciting. Now there's 2 ways this trade goes south. I'm not concerned at all about Quinn Hughes and his ability to perform for you. Obviously,
he signed through.
The reason he's available is because there's been rumors for so long that he wants to play with his brothers.
Correct.
Or he wants to play closer to home.
They both play in New Jersey, and then Detroit, Michigan is home. Right?
So, the Wild now has to prove it here, right? I mean, they kind of have to do it this season, because he's probably going to, he's going to be eligible for an extension this summer, and that's where you're going to want to extend him. So the Wild need to prove this year, hey, this is a place you can come and you can win. So now it's on them to do that. But if we get to the summer and Quinn Hughes goes, I'm not going to extend, I'd rather get to free agency, now this trade can go south a little bit. The other part of where this could go south is, I think of all the assets we gave up, Bouillon is the one that could still come back to bite you someday. Marco Rossi's a fine player. He's a quality NHL center. Liam Ogren, I don't know if he's going to be much more than a third liner, but he can play in your bottom 6 in the National Hockey League. Those two aren't, ultimately, while they're going to be NHL players, aren't going to come back to completely bite you and go, man, we really screwed up letting that guy go. Bouillon is the one where he can potentially has a ceiling, maybe even a Quinn Hughes ceiling someday, but that's obviously not guaranteed, and you don't know where that development's going to go. Whereas Quinn Hughes right now is, he's a stud. So, I mean, for this season alone, they are much better this year. If they somehow can get him to a contract extension, then I'd say, yeah, it's a home run deal.
Can he play offensive line for the Vikings?
He's a little small.
Can he be in the DH or first baseman? Oh, I guess we got a first baseman. Can he play for the Twins?
Well, we got about 8 spots he can play on the Twins for us.
How about point guard?
Maybe he can dish it.
Because those teams need some help as well. So there we go. We'll talk more about that. There's plenty of things to get to. Controversial Vikings news on the other side of the break. And with that controversial Vikings news comes our sponsor, Affordable Electric, Peek at the Purple, and the legendary one, Mark Rosen, will join us just before 2. All of that and more right here on the Common Man program, along with Tenna B here on The Fan.
This winter at the 2026 IIHF World Juniors in Minnesota. See the best young hockey players in the world compete for gold. Bring the family and experience the excitement. Get your tickets today at mnsportsandevents.org.
heavenly sleep. Our Savior is here. Couple 13:14 past. I'm Common. He's Tenna. It's time now for Peek at the Purple. And Peek at the Purple is brought to you by our friends at Affordable Electric. That's Affordable Electric. Hold on, I'm tap dancing as I get to my cheat sheet. If something doesn't...
Just talk slower.
If something doesn't seem right, it probably isn't. Affordable Electric handles emergency troubleshooting for flickering lights, dead outlets, hot switches, burning smells in overloaded circuits. Don't let a small problem become a big one. Book online at affordable-electric.com, affordable-electric.com. And remember, Affordable Electric is shockingly affordable. That'll wake you up. That's an electrical problem right there, and you need to troubleshoot that at your home. Vikings defeat Dallas on Sunday night. Tenna had been waiting all day for it, so had I. Vikings win by 8. They stave off any rallies by Dallas. Team plays pretty well, all in all. Dallas, pretty explosive offense, and to hold them to, what was our final, 36-20?
I think they ended up getting 26, didn't they?
Yeah, so it's 34-26, I think was the final score. So holding
they missed 2 field goals, too.
Yeah, and they did miss a couple of figgies. So we, and offensively it was nice. It seemed it was more than just 3 tight end sets. It's almost as if, as we've been talking about, it seems as though the expectations in week 1 for McCarthy were a bit much. I think maybe not just for fans and media. When you're the 10th overall pick, you've only lost 1 game as a high school and college player. You expect the guy to come out, maybe not completely up to speed in the National Football League, but ready to play, and it didn't seem like he was at all. And so then you wonder if the head coach and the coaching staff in the front office and ownership maybe overestimated how prepared he was. Then he had the ankle injury, and what is his number of starts now? Is it 7? 6, 7? I think he has 6, 7 starts right now in the National Football League. And the last 2 were the game against Washington was nice. They really did scale things back. They wanted him to get rid of the ball quickly. They did a lot of 3 tight end set stuff, or at least throwing to tight ends and trying to get the ball out of his hand quickly. They told him not to worry about mechanics, and he didn't. And he played pretty well, and they beat Washington. A very disinterested Washington team that was maybe the worst against the pass going into the game. I think they were giving up on average 7.8 yards per pass play, which was the largest, the worst in the National Football League. And it seems like they built on it a little bit, Tenna, and opened it up a little bit more against Dallas and I should apologize to you. You were right. I thought Dallas had showed improvement in 2 games. They're awful defensively.
They're terrible.
They're just terrible. But again, as you've heard me say many, many times over the years, when it comes to evaluating players or teams or coaches or whatever, the Vikings aren't responsible for putting Dallas's roster together. They don't do their draft picks. Maybe they should do ours. We don't put the schedule together. We don't put the game plans together. None of that. So you play who you play, when you play, and when they show up on the schedule. And McCarthy had another nice outing. It wasn't perfect. He had some overthrows, but he was solid, right? But he did something it was a great play call too. When they was it a 3rd and goal, or was it even 4th down? I think it was 4th when they did they student body right. They made it look like they're going to run it right. And then what do they call that quarterback play when he just bootleg, right?
Yeah.
He just bootlegs over to the left and he goes in untouched. And he did a little celebration, like his form of the gritty. He did his own kind of version of the gritty. And they asked him about it after the game. And here's the quote in the Fish Wrap Factory West Side. He said, "I did it in practice and was told not to do it," McCarthy said of his end zone celebration. "But me being who I am, I was even more enticed to do it." Said Vikings coach Kevin O'Connell, "I would say the finish. I wouldn't classify it special. It was entertaining." And I guess we are in the entertainment business, which I'm glad he said that because I brought that up. I bring that up usually once every couple of weeks that, at the end of the day, it is the entertainment business. None of this is life or death. We treat it that way sometimes. Fans treat it that way. Media, players, coaches, ownership. We treat it as like, lives are at stake here. It's really that important to us. At the end of the day, it is just entertainment. It's no different really than a play, TV show, movie, music, whatever the case may be.
I'm curious as to why he was told not to do it.
Yeah. Well,
is that a quarterback thing? Like we can't have the quarterback?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
be super cocky, and then they're going to go after you and headhunt you, or what?
I don't know. And but I don't. But my next question would be, if the coach told you not to do it, why did you do it? Now,
well, there's that too.
See, to me, that's even and I'm not saying it's egregious. And again, it's not life or death. But if you're the coach and you tell a guy not to do something, then he does it. But like the coach said, it's the entertainment business. And you know what? Look, that's where this game has morphed to. I mean, we see it all the time. Anytime there's a turnover and the defense gets an interception or fumble recovery, the guy that gets the ball starts waving everybody down to the end zone. Come on, we're going to do our celebration now. And they do these celebrations. They're harmless. I'm not really a fan, or I'm not against it either. Right? You know what I'm saying? I could do without them. They're mildly amusing sometimes. Some of them are, some of them are creative. Remember the one, I think a lot of different units have done the one where they pretend they're a bowling ball and they knock down the pins.
We've lost our creativity without Cambisi here, I think.
Yeah, we have. And so, but I'm with you. Why the coach doesn't like it and why is
Jefferson allowed to do it, but McCarthy can't?
Right. And why did the quarterback disobey the coach? Better him disobey the don't celebrate in the end zone thing than, hey, don't throw that ball into triple coverage. And he says, well, I'll just do what I do and throw it into triple coverage, right? It's better to do the celebration after a tutty than throw it into, when the coach tells you not to, than to throw it into triple coverage when the coach tells you to throw it away. So, Peek at the Purple brought to you by Affordable Electric for all of your electrical needs. It's affordable-electric.com. We'll break down some more Wild and a couple of other items. Other side of the break, Common Man program along with Tenna right here on the Fan.
Love highly, fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la.
Don't just sit at home. Come catch the Purple in action with us. Join Eric Nordquist at Gray's Food Hall this Sunday. Kickoff is just after noon between Minnesota and New York. Food, drinks, and prizes every quarter. Get the details now at KFAN.com. Keep your calendar.
This isn't meant in a derogatory way in any way, but I'm about to say something controversial.
That's interesting.
Is it Mike McDaniel? Is he the coach of the Dolphins?
Yes.
He just doesn't have that look of a football coach like Dan Campbell does. He looks to me like a acoustic guitar player that you would see at a folk nightclub, a folk music nightclub.
Yeah. Right?
He just does. But he's a head football coach, and they lost last night to Pittsburgh, I think. I didn't even turn it on.
He's that guy that you'd meet him as a complete stranger and you'd introduce yourself.
Yeah.
And, hey, what do you do for a living? Oh, I'm a head football coach, and you start laughing. Yeah, funny joke.
Yeah, so no, really, do you do are you more like Harry Chapin, or are you more like Jim Croce? Because you look like a folk guitar player for me.
I think you'd say the same thing if you saw Will Reichard.
Well, it's true.
Out in public.
My wife, or
even Quinn Hughes.
My lovely wife, Potato. My first wife, my second wife hasn't been born yet. She asked me, "You're going to watch the Monday night game?" I mean, she's making conversation. Wanted to know because we watch a lot of football at 1314 Insane Lane. I just said, "No, I don't think we'll be tuning in tonight." Though I thought about scouting Pittsburgh. That's who the Kitties play. They host them at Litterbox, and Aaron Rodgers now 8-6, right? Pittsburgh in the thick of. Are they in first place in that division?
I think they're a game ahead of Baltimore.
And do those two teams play again, or have they already played their two games? I'd love to see them go at it again. And I mean, it wouldn't be, if it was,
No, they played each other last game of the year.
Yeah. I mean, if it's programming predicament, I'm not necessarily saying I'll watch that game.
That might be the flex game.
Yeah, that could be a flexible flyer kind of a game. One thing that you brought up at the beginning of the show, and I saw it in a number of different places here locally, about this is the first time in how many years that
Since 2003?
the Wild, the Vikings, and the Wolves all won on the same day. But then I got to thinking, well, how many times did they play?
Have all three teams played on the same day?
It's not even that big of a deal. It's because,
and then to have all three of them win.
Yeah, but how many times even? So to me, it's not that big of a deal. It's like it's not like the 0-18 twin streak. This is like, I even asked Grok AI, how many times have the three teams played on the same day? And I took the deep dive, and it says the number of times they have played on the same day without all winning has not been specified in the search results, but is likely a higher number given the long gap between the win trifectas. The alignment of schedules, especially in the NFL game on a Saturday, which it was in 2003, makes these same-day games relatively rare occurrences. So maybe it's in the history of the three franchises all existing at the same time. Remember, the Vikings only play once a week. And they don't play the entire, the National Hockey League and the NBA go into February. February. What's after February?
That would be March.
April. Oh, wait, our teams don't get into April very often. April, May. You know what? We're both going to get to the Western Conference Finals. That'll be your programming predicament. Wild in Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals. Wolves in the Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals. What are you going to watch, Common?
But it's only going to happen in November or December.
Right. So that's
then the odds of all three teams playing
on the same day,
given that, are very slim.
So to me, it wasn't even worth even mentioning. It's like, okay. The number of times that Meat Sauce and Common Man have both been funny, I flop, sweat, and tears. Never. Of course, we have worked together quite a few times, but you get my point. I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but people love those silly numbers like that. Oh, I know what I wanted to say to you. NBA Cup tonight. That's your programming predicament. That's a big one. Knickerbockers against the Spurs. The Spurs, I wouldn't call them a surprise entrant. I mean, they did have to beat the Oklahoma City Thunder, and OKC had only lost one game going into that. And they were beaten by the Spurs. And if any team, at least at this point in time, I would say, could give OKC a run for their money as far as representing the Western Conference in the NBA Finals, I would say it's the Spurrier and Ives, and it's also possible Denver. Those would be my top two. Houston, yeah. And, if the Wolves finally decide to play defense from the start of the game to the end of the game and take and treat the sport with some respect, I think they could possibly get there. But here's a stat, Tenna, from the Spurs versus OKC game. I think that was Saturday night. The Spurs outscored the Thunder by 21 points when Victor Wembanyama was playing, and got outscored by 19 points when he was out. He finished with 22 points, 9 boards, 2 assists, and 2 blocks in 21 minutes. He was coming off a calf injury, I believe. And I think that was his first game back, if I'm not mistaken. But, I mean, and I don't know, when we're doing the first time all three teams have won, has there ever been a guy that, I'm sure it's happened, but to me, that's just an astonishing statistic. The Spurs outscored the Thunder by 21 when Wembanyama was playing, and got outscored by 19 when he wasn't in the game. That's what an impact he makes, both offensively and defensively, obviously. And when I chided Rosen about saying not in a million years would he trade Ant for Wembanyama. And then the next day he said, I said about injury. Well, he didn't talk about health the first time. He just immediately said no. Because he loves Ant and everybody does. And you can make the argument you'd keep Ant over Wembanyama if you want. Yeah, it was one of those things. I mean, everybody's entitled to their own stupid opinion. I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion. But that would be the question with Wembanyama. Those big gangly guys, there's a lot of body parts that can get strained and broken. And because when you're standing 7'4" and running up and down the floor and it's a physical game, it seems like there's a greater chance to be injured. But that's how good he is. And all the players, I just read, I briefly skimmed the story. I should admit that working at the All Sports station that I just skimmed the sports page. But, they're all trying to act as though this really means something. Means something to the city. The NBA Cup means something to the city, means something to the team. And a couple of guys were honest and said, well, it's really about the money. I mean, let's face it. I mean, that's what makes the world go around. That's what it's all about. Especially the players that aren't in. If you're in Big Meow money, you got the kind of contract Big Meow has, and many of the other players that are playing in tonight's game. It's walking around money for those guys, right? But there are the guys on the teams that don't have those max deals that $500,000 comes into a nice. But guys that, when you look at the box score every night, it says DNP/CD. DNP/CD. What does that mean? Did not play, coach's decision. Those guys aren't making any money.
Load management.
Yeah. So I'm just talking about the end of the bench guys that just aren't playing. It's not even load management. They just never get off the bench because they just don't play. Most teams don't go much more than 8 deep, though we know the Thunder goes 10 deep, and there's probably other teams that do as well. But
I will say, though, it's kind of hard to say there's a flaw in a team that's basically on pace to become the greatest NBA team ever. Mm-hmm. But if there is a flaw defensively for them, because defensively they are outstanding, but they are so good at shutting down the other team's 1, 2s, and 3s, right? They have so many guys that they can just go in waves and shut down. But I think Wemby's is probably unguardable in general.
Right, correct.
But then even if you look at OKC's defense, like, hey, if there's a spot you can get to him, that would be a big man. They have, nobody can guard Wemby, but at the same time, I don't know if OKC defensively with the big man is that their strength either. So that might be a little bit of a mismatch for them.
What I saw a highlight package. How many times do you think Chet Holmgren has had his shot blocked in the NBA? Never, except he got it blocked by Wembanyama.
Sure.
It was it was one of those things where I'm sure Holmgren's trying to prove himself. All right, it's a one-on-one matchup. I know you're taller than me. You got me by 3 inches, but watch my moves. And Holmgren went through his entire arsenal of moves, back, bouncing behind the back, twisting, turning. Then he went up to take the jumper, and Wembanyama just slammed it back in his face. And we love Chet because he's one of us, right? But
you can't really prepare for Wembanyama unless you play him, right? Like, there's nobody else in the league that's tall and that athletic.
And I think that's probably
so you're not used to going up against players like that.
Exactly. And like I say, when Holmgren is rarely going to get a shot blocked. It just doesn't happen, but it does with Wembanyama. Your underdog fantasy thing, you were talking about the over and unders. Did they have
hires and lowers?
Hires and lowers. Did they have one for a number of flagrant foul 2s for Rudy Gobert? Because that's what I'd want to bet on. Are you allowed? Do they have that option?
They don't. They got points and rebounds and stuff like that. But
because the flagrant foul, that would be just like, well, that's a no-brainer. You take the over, or no? What did you say? It's not called over.
Higher or lower?
You take the higher on that one right away. I just wanted to get that. I wanted to wedge that cheap shot, and I was going to do it coming out of the break. But I forgot it, but then it dawned on me again, and I just had it. I'll send it to rewrite and have them.
No, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I didn't think it was too bad.
This is new material. I was very encouraged by it. Yeah,
it doesn't happen often. It happens about as often as the Wild, the Vikings, and the Wolves win on the same day. That's how rare it is. I saw some quotes from Brock Faber. If anybody is going to, if there's one guy that's going to benefit more than others, it's Faber, right? They played the same. Faber was just excited. I have the quote somewhere. I could dig him up, but he just talks about how, it's just, what do you have to do? Just, learn to play together. It's not too hard. It's fun playing with a guy at that level. It should make him, he's already a great player, right? Faber's very good. It should make him even better. Is that your best 1-2 punch for defense? Because they play at the same time all the time, do they? You have to tell me.
Him and Quinn Hughes?
Yeah.
Well, they did last game.
Last game, and do you think that...
obviously, Faber's not on the top power play unit with them, but...
Right. Yeah. Dude, are the defensive pairings usually the same all the time, or does it change depending on how well a guy's playing or how well he's... Or is it always the same? It's going to be... Forget the Faber...
It's mostly the same,
okay.
But, power play and penalty kill can change that. Sometimes... If you have a defenseman get hurt in the game, which they did last game, then you might be double shifting some of your guys, or you might be rotating 5. But generally speaking, yes. And actually, that's a pretty astute observation by you.
Oh.
You are a great hockey mind, because the one thing I took out of that game, other than the performance of Quinn Hughes, was Brock Faber played differently. when he had Quinn Hughes as his defensive partner, right? Like, for the most of the season, Brock Faber's been playing with Jonas Brodin. Quality defenseman, great skater, backwards and lateral skating as good as anyone. If you're going up against Connor McDavid, you not quite.
Okay.
But if you're going up against Connor McDavid, like you want a guy like Jonas Brodin on your team, right? Because he can skate with Connor McDavid, which is very challenging to do. But like Jonas Brodin's going to play a pretty conservative game. So as your defensive partner, like you're not going to jump up in the play in this, and get aggressive in the offensive zone in this spot. Whereas with Quinn Hughes, you're not worried about him losing the puck. You're not losing about him turning it over. If you get into a scoring area, he's going to get you the puck. So all of a sudden, it appeared to me the other night, Brock Faber was playing much more aggressively, much more offensively than I'd seen previously. And I would think that would only grow once, that was only first game with Quinn Hughes. Once you start to learn each other's tendencies and patterns, I think that's just even going to get better. So, Brock Faber is a great defensive player that has a little bit of offense to him. He's run the power play at times. He's put up points, and I just saw a mindset difference with him, with Quinn Hughes as his partner compared to Jonas Brodin.
At the risk of being a rube, because it's only been one game, right? They haven't played a second one yet. Could that be considered the best defensive pairing in the NHL? And again, it's early. They have to play together more than one game, but just their reputations and their talent levels and how their careers have gone, is that as good as it gets?
Man, I'd have to break down every defensive pairing in the National Hockey League. I will say, before we get too excited about Quinn, he's not a great defensive player. He's a very average defensive player. Now, what he is great is the puck on his stick. He's elite. Now I'm not just talking about the offensive zone. Defensive zone, like he's a one-man breakout. He'll get the puck out of the zone. But in terms of defending other teams, I do have a little concern with you get in the playoffs and the type of style of hockey changes.
Sure.
And Quinn Hughes is not big. Jared Spurgeon's not big. Jonas Brodin doesn't really play big. Brock Faber's kind of average size, right? So we are going to have to still see when you get into a playoff series against a team that has some big, powerful, physical forwards that want to get to the net, whether we're going to hold up there or not. Quinn's not, he's an average defensive player. He's just so elite offensively that it overcomes all shortcomings you can think of.
Well, that was what I was just about to ask you, because I read the same thing and they kind of just mentioned it briefly that, not really a defensive defenseman, but all-world offensively is on the old, I love doing the scale of 1 to 10, 10 being he's Bobby Orr. Was Bobby Orr great defensively and offensively, right? Wasn't he lead?
I never watched him play.
I think he was lead of both, but whoever the best defensive defenseman was, and then, somebody who never played, PA playing pickup basketball, being number one, right? Where would you give him? Is he a 5? Is he a 2? He can play defense some, right? Or
he can skate.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know how much he can handle power forward. So a lot of it might be matchup related, depending on what team you're facing, right? If you're facing the Winnipeg Jets, for instance, a team that's going to try to bloody you up a little bit, we'll see how he does in those situations. Sure. Watching him from afar, it's not like I've been able to watch him consistently night after night. How he plays defensively, and he's so aggressive and so confident with the puck. He's going to turn the puck over occasionally. That's going to happen as well. But he is another Kaprizov on the ice. He's absolutely elite with the puck on his stick.
I think we are now. I think we've pivoted some, and we're pointing towards Skatriots country again now. I'm not ready to say we're the Skatriots, but I think
we're coming.
I do like the move. I said it yesterday, Tenna. When Conley made the trade to get Gobert, I said, I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm all for it because it's been a terrible team. Nothing else has worked for the franchise. The Wild have been like the Wolves as far as that. Remember when the Wolves had that 7 seasons in a row where they one and dones? That's all the Wild man. So I don't know if this will work, and you're giving up the equivalent of 4 first-round draft picks. But with as highly regarded this guy is and where we are, I'm all for it. Let's
There's
play.
risk, but there's also reward.
You are correct. We'll break, come back. We'll see what the legendary Mark Rosen thinks about all of these topics and more. He joins us next. Common Man program along with Tenna here on The Fan.